Hello dear students, myself CMA Padmaja Buzruk. I will be discussing auditing, study note number 6 and 7. From that, I will be discussing various distinctions. First, we'll discuss about distinction between internal audit, internal control and internal check. Internal audit is carried out either by staff, that is some companies have internal audit department, or a professional can be appointed to conduct internal audit, and it is a system where each and every component is checked after the transactions are entered. Internal control is it is nothing but a managerial control which checks whether other controls are working properly for achieving goals and objectives. So automatically work of one person gets checked by another person. Internal check, double checking two times, that is at the time of entering the transaction, at the time of occurrence of the transaction. Internal check is work is distributed in such a way that one individual works is automatically gets checked by another employee. Objective of internal audit is detection and prevention of frauds and errors. Internal control has various objectives like adherence to management policies, safeguarding of assets, prevention and detection of frauds and errors, accuracy and completeness of accounting records. Objective of internal check is not a single individual is not given the responsibility of single transaction right from the beginning to end. The work is distributed among workers. Point of time. Internal auditors job is after the transaction is entered, that is work is checked after it is done. In case of internal control, simultaneously the work is checked, that is inbuilt system is there, hierarchy of the organization structure is maintained in such a way that simultaneously the checking is done. And in case of internal check, the work is checked continuously because work is divided among the workers, employees in such a manner that work of one worker gets checked by another automatically continuously. Thirst of this system, internal audit, detection of frauds. See now, internal check should go in last column and internal control should come in the middle column. So just make a changes. Thirst of internal check is prevention of errors, and thirst of internal control is fixing of responsibility. Internal control defines authority, responsibility, it fixes responsibilities and it divides the work among various employees. Cost involvement. Internal audit, of course, there is additional cost because this is additional work. In case of internal control, it is costly for small businesses. But in case of internal check, it does not add to cost because the work is arranged in such a manner that the division of work is done and work is arranged in such a manner that one employee's work is automatically gets checked by another. Reporting, internal auditor submits his report to the management. Internal control system, they have built-in MIS report, that is management information systems report. It is given in the hierarchy organizational chart, and in case of internal check, the reporting is done to the seniors. Now next distinction is checklist and internal control questionnaire. Checklist is prepared by auditor for helping their audit staff, audit assistants, audit clerks to follow the instructions while preparing the audit so that not a important work is missed out. It is issued at the commencement of audit and it is to be reported back after completion of audit to the auditor. This checklist is a guideline to the audit staff. Whereas internal control questionnaire is a list of questions. This is issued either by statutory auditor or by internal auditor. It can be issued at any point of time and it is to be reported back immediately. It includes various questions for various departments to be answered by various levels, employees, officers of the departments, and this information is, these questions are given to various departments to know whether the internal control system is proper, whether it is sound, to evaluate the internal control system and to find out the weaknesses in the internal control system. Next distinction is between test checking and statistical sampling. In case of test checking, certain few selective transactions are verified. There is no specific technique used here. It depends on the choice of the person who is doing this test checking, that is the auditor, so it is subjective and it involves more risk. For example, in case of test checking, the auditor may check for all the 12 months the transactions of the first week or transactions of the last week or transactions which have taken place from 15th of the month to 20 of the month. So there is no scientific method for this. No specific technique is used. It is subjective. In case of statistical sampling, samples are drawn and statistical techniques are used for this. There are various statistical techniques method: simple random sampling with replacement, simple random sampling without replacement. So risk involved in this is very less. Now next distinction is internal audit and operational audit. We'll see what is the meaning of operational audit. Operational audit is examination of operations and activities and systematic review of effectiveness, efficiency and economy of operations. So in operational audit, it is necessary to examine all activities, operations, processes and check whether they are effective, efficient or not. So in operational audit, it is necessary to check the processes and operations. So process improvement is the objective. Risk identification, what are the various risks involved? Various competitors will be there. New products will be emerging in the market. New technologies are emerging in the market. So it is necessary to improve the processes, change the methods, machines, identify the risk. It is focused on business. All activities and operations of the business are to be examined, critically checked. It is necessary to check whether all the activities and processes are efficient or not, whether it is necessary to improve this process best. So this is based on processes and activities. Risk management focus, just now we have seen various types of risk. Risk management system is the way through which an organization manages players, roles, relations and processes of its business in order to achieve its value and objectives. So in order to achieve the objectives, management has to tackle various risks. Accountability for performance improvement results. If performance is improved, then that person will be rewarded, that is accountability. Focus on goal, strategies and risk management. This is operational audit. In case of internal audit, objective is compliance, whether compliance to laws, management rules, regulations, gap, detection and prevention of frauds and errors. Mostly financial accounting is the focus, checking of financial statements, whether everything has been properly included, nothing has been undervalued, overvalued. It is audit focused, transaction based. All transactions are checked. Policies and procedure focused. This is nothing but compliance. Management policies and procedures are followed or not is checked. Cost center wise budget monitoring. Cost center is departmental wise budget monitoring. and it focuses on policies, transactions, and compliance. Accounting and auditing is the next distinction. Auditing begins where accounting ends. Accounting is nothing but preparation of books of accounts, collection, classification, summarization. From that, it prepares books of accounts. Transactions are entered into various books of accounts, and financial statements are prepared. Profit and loss account and balance sheet. Auditing is nothing but critical and analytical examination of these financial statements. Transactions in accounting, transactions are recorded at the time of occurrence, but auditing is post-mortem examination. It checks the recorded transactions critically. Now, in case of accounting, it measures the business event in monetary terms and communicates the financial results through financial statements. That means it communicates profit through profit and loss account. And auditor forms opinion on these financial statements. The primary responsibility of management is towards owners to prepare financial statements, but auditor is independent person. He only gives his opinion on the financial statements. Accountant is not expected to review and comment and give his opinion on the financial statements, whereas auditor is required to submit a report and his opinion on whether financial statement gives true and fair view. Accountant works or he for or under the management, whereas auditor is independent person. Accountant is not held liable to third parties, whereas auditor is held liable to third parties, supposing if the stakeholders act on the basis of financial statement and auditor's opinion, and afterwards if fraud is discovered, then auditor will be held liable, but this is not so in case of accountant. Maintenance of accounts may not be mandatory for sole proprietorship firm or partnership firm, but it is compulsory in case of Companies Act. Auditing is also compulsory as per Companies Act, but it is not compulsory for sole proprietorship firm as well as partnership firm. But as per section 44AA, maintenance of accounts for tax purpose, that is if income from business and profession exceeds the limit given by Income Tax Act, then sole proprietor and partner also required to maintain books of accounts, and as per 44AB they are required to get these books of accounts audited. 44AB is tax audit. Indian accounting standards is to be followed in case of accounting, whereas standards on auditing is to be followed for auditing. Accounting analyzes events and transactions. All transactions are events, but all events are not transactions. Only transactions having money or money's worth are to be recorded in the books of account. Duty of auditor is to review the internal control system. Financial statement assertions are made by accountant, and it is the duty of the auditor to check whether these assertions made are correct or not. Now, financial statements are prepared as per recognized accounting principles. Auditor prepares audit report. Financial statements are distributed to shareholders along with auditor's report. It is duty of the management. Auditor delivers audit report to the client, that is to the management, but is it addressed to shareholders. Accounting is first, and after it is done, auditing starts. Auditing starts where accounting ends. Now we'll see distinction between audit and investigation. Investigation is performed to prove certain facts, whereas auditing is performed to verify truth and fairness. Auditing is nothing but independent and systematic examination of books of accounts, vouchers, documents, financial statements to check whether these financial statements exhibit true and fair view, whereas investigation is carried out to prove certain facts, it is for special purpose. Scope of statutory audit is determined by relevant law, whereas scope of private audit, non-statutory audit is determined by management. Scope of investigation depends upon terms of engagement and matters to be investigated, that is what the investigator is supposed to investigate. On that the scope depends. Sometimes it has a very wide scope, but sometimes the scope is very limited. The objective of auditing is to form an opinion about financial statements, whether this financial statement exhibits true and fair view, and also detection and prevention of frauds and errors, whereas investigation is carried out for special purpose, sometimes to confirm the facts. Auditing is conducted in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, but investigation is not conducted in accordance with generally accepted auditing principles. It is beyond just auditing. Sometimes the investigator needs to check the books of accounts pertaining to the previous years also. Auditing is based on persuasive evidence, whereas investigation is based on substantial as well as conclusive evidence. Substantial evidence is adequate or reasonable evidence, whereas conclusive evidence means confirm without any doubt. If the auditor accepts the stock statements given by management, if he is of the opinion that internal control system in the organization is efficient, then he is using persuasive evidence. But investigator, if he presents himself at the time of stock counting, then that is conclusive evidence, confirm without any doubt. Auditor is doubtful, but he is not suspicious. He is skeptical, whereas investigation starts with suspicion in mind. Auditing is a routine exercise. Statutory auditor is to be carried out after preparation of financial statements every year. Investigation is not a routine exercise. Sometimes investigation may be carried out 2-3 times in a year, but sometimes investigation is required after a gap of 2-3 years. So this is how investigation and auditing is distinguished. Qualification of auditor is specified in law, whereas investigator no qualification is specified. He is supposed to be expert. He is supposed to be having knowledge and skill in the areas where he is supposed to investigate or prove the facts. Next distinction is private audit and statutory audit. Statutory audit is the audit which is required to be conducted as per law or statute. So mostly the objective is to ensure the truthness and fairness of the financial statements. In case of statutory audit, it is necessary to check whether the compliance of law, compliance of rules and regulations of the management is there or not. Scope of statutory audit is given by the law or statute. Report is given to the shareholders. Whereas in case of private audit, it is carried on by the management for the interest of the management, and its objective is to review of internal controls, checks on employees, and checking financial and non-financial operations. Scope is decided by management. Report is given to management. Statutory auditor's qualification is given by statute, whereas private auditor's qualification is not given by statute. Management may decide and appoint cost accountant, chartered accountant, or any other professional to conduct private audit. Private audit has a proprietary oriented approach. It is a traditional approach. Proprietary approach is having exclusive right to something or owned by somebody. Now we'll see statutory audit and internal audit. Statutory auditor is appointed by shareholders in the general meeting. So report is to be addressed to shareholders, but it is dispatched, submitted to board of directors. Remuneration is fixed by shareholders. Shareholders can remove statutory auditor and scope is defined as per Companies Act. His duties, qualifications, qualities are decided given by Act. In case of internal auditor, board of directors appoint internal auditors. He is supposed to submit report to board. His remuneration is fixed by board of directors. Internal auditor can be removed by board of directors and scope is decided by management. Now statutory audit and a government audit. Statutory audit is applicable to all private companies, all cooperative societies, partnership and proprietorship concerns in some cases. That means tax audit as per section 44 AB of Income Tax Act 1961. If the income from profession or business exceeds limit given by Income Tax Act, then as per section 44 AA of Income Tax Act, partnership and proprietorship firms are required to maintain books of accounts and as per section 44 AB, they are required to get these accounts audited by the auditor. That's why it comes under statutory audit. Government audit is applicable to government departments, statutory corporations, and government companies. Statutory corporations are LIC, Life Insurance Corporation, SFC, etc. Appointing authority, statutory audit. In case of private companies, shareholders will appoint auditor. In case of sole proprietorship and partnership, proprietor or partners will appoint the auditor. In case of trust, trustee or managing committee will appoint the auditors. In case of cooperative societies, managing committee with prior approval of registrar. In case of government audit, appointment of auditor is with the prior approval of Controller and Auditor General of India, whatever may be the form of government company. Report in case of statutory audit, report is submitted addressed to shareholders, but it is submitted to the management and it is management's responsibility to distribute it to the shareholders. But in case of government audit, along with shareholders, a copy is to be given to Controller and Auditor General of India also. Now next distinction is permanent audit file and current audit file. Audit working paper files are classified as permanent audit file and current audit file. Working papers are properties of the auditors. They are very important for auditors. He is supposed to preserve them as a proof of work carried out and he can produce it as a proof, document, evidence in the court of law if he is held for negligence. So in permanent audit file, auditor is supposed to file the documents which he will be requiring permanently, like memorandum of association, articles of association, extracts of copies of legal documents, agreements, minutes relevant to the audit, study and evaluation of internal controls, significant ratios, financial statement of previous years, notes regarding significant accounting policies. Various accounting policies are there. Method of depreciation, method of valuation of stock, etc. etc. Significant audit observations of the earlier years. All these things which the auditor will need for every year is to be filed in permanent audit file, but current year's working papers which he will need for preparation of current audit report will be filed in current audit file. Correspondence relating to acceptance of appointment for current year, minutes of board meetings and general meetings relevant to the current year's audit, management letters, analysis of transactions and balances of the current year, communication with other auditors like internal auditors, or if any expert opinion auditor has taken third parties communication like communication with debtors, creditors, banks, which relates to current year's audit program, and conclusion reached on significant aspect of audit. All this is to be filed in current audit file. Now next distinction is explanatory note and qualificatory note. Explanatory note is nothing but explanation given on the matters of financial statements. It is not auditor's adverse view. These explanatory notes are given by the directors and it is shown under notes to the accounts. So you can consider it as part of accounting statement. Whereas qualificatory note means if the auditor gives qualified opinion, then in that case he writes these notes and these notes are known as qualificatory notes. They are auditor's reservation on the accounts. Qualificatory notes on which the auditor has taken an adverse view, for example, tax provision not made in the accounts. If provision for taxation is not made, auditor can qualify his report. Qualification are made by the auditor in his report to the company's shareholders. These notes are included in the auditor's report before the opinion paragraph. The reader's attention is drawn to the qualification paragraph by use of the word subject to. Sometimes subject to or except this word also can be used. Qualified report and adverse report. Qualified report is report where auditor gives his opinion about truth and fairness of the financial statement subject to or except this. So auditor's opinion will be subject to or except this, the financial statements give true and fair view. Then it is known as qualified report. Adverse report, if the auditor is not satisfied about the financial statements, if he feels that financial statement do not give true and fair view, then in this case his opinion will be financial statement do not present a true and fair view of state of affairs and working results of the organization. This is known as adverse report. If he does not agree with the affirmations made, then in that case, actually it should be assertions made, then in that case auditor gives adverse report. Next distinction is clean audit report and qualified audit report. Clean audit report is also known as unconditional opinion. When auditor does not have any reservation, or if he is fully satisfied and if he gives opinion that financial statement gives true and fair view of state of affairs and results, then this report is known as clean audit report. Now, if auditor is satisfied regarding some matters, then he gives clean opinion. These matters of if the accounts are prepared using generally accepted accounting principles, auditor has examined evidence in respect of transactions recorded in the books of accounts and these evidences are reliable, sufficient. Transactions recorded represent a true recording of events. Transactions are within the legal competence. There are no material misstatements in the financial statement and financial statement comply with the format and disclosure requirement as per the statute. If he satisfies with all this, then auditor issues a clean audit report. There is no specific duty of management as regards clean or unconditional opinion. But if the auditor is not satisfied for certain matters, then he gives qualified audit report. So he in this report he expresses as financial statement gives true and fair view subject to or except certain matters. He gives qualified opinion when an unqualified opinion cannot be expressed, that is clean audit report cannot be given, or sometimes he doesn't want to give adverse opinion and the limitation or scope is not material so as to give disclaimer of opinion. So when then it is not possible to give clean opinion, when adverse opinion is not required and disclaimer of opinion is also not required, then in that case he gives qualified audit report. In case of qualified audit report, management is bound to give explanation and full details in respect of each qualification in the audit report. Next distinction is audit report and audit certificate. Audit report is expression of auditor's opinion. In audit certificate, person issuing or signing certificate vouch the truth of statement made by him. It is confirmation of the facts. Audit certificate is nothing but confirmation of facts. It is a written confirmation of the accuracy of information stated. So auditor is supposed to certify certain facts and that is through audit certificate. Audit report contains opinion of the auditor. Certificate does not contain opinion of the auditor. Audit report is made on the basis of examination of books of accounts and vouchers. Certificate is for certifying a particular data. So he is supposed to verify only those books of accounts and records and not the entire organization's books. Audit report may not guarantee the correctness of financial statement in absolute terms. Auditor cannot give 100% guarantee about audit report, whereas audit certificate guarantees absolute correctness, that is 100% guarantee is given by audit certificate. Audit report covers the entire accounts of the whole year. It covers the entire accounting, whereas audit certificate covers only certain part on which the auditor is supposed to give his certificate and check the facts. Audit report does not hold auditor responsible if anything goes wrong, but in case of audit certificate, the auditor will be held responsible because he is giving guaranteeing absolute correctness. Auditor in audit report may provide suggestion for improvement, but audit certificate does not give suggestion for improvement. Audit report is based on vouching and verification of books of accounts, vouchers, assets and liabilities, entire things. But in case of audit certificate, it is based on arithmetical accuracy of facts. Audit report covers all the transaction, but certificate is for specific transactions. Audit report is subjective because it depends upon the opinion of the auditor. Objective refers to facts while subjective refers to feelings or opinions. Whereas audit certificate is objective. For audit report, a specific format is prescribed, but there is no specific format for audit certificate. Audit report is addressed to the members, that is shareholders, but audit certificate is addressed to particular person or sometimes it may include the words to whomsoever it may concern. So in this particular video, we have seen various different distinctions. Thank you.